Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome, students, professors, administrators, family, and friends to the McCormack Graduate School of Policy and Global Studies Graduation Awards Ceremony and Reception 2023. My name is Jaylene Panbo, and I'm a PhD student in Global Governance and Human Security, and also the student chair of the McCormack DOS Ambassadors Group, and your host for the day. I am delighted to welcome everyone to this amazing ceremony to celebrate another great year of achievements at McCormack. And today we recognize the achievements and your drive as students, as professors and administrators in the McCormack School. And what better way than to share those moments with your friends, your family, and your colleagues here together. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy what is in store for you today. We begin today's ceremony with a welcome speech by Dean Rita Kiki Idozi. Rita Kiki Idozi is the interim dean of the John McCormack School of Policy and Global Studies and professor of Global Governance and International Relations. She received her PhD in politics from the New School for Social Research in New York City. She taught at Columbia University and at Michigan State University, where, as professor of international relations, she was recognized for scholarly productivity, teaching excellence, and outstanding community service. And as interim dean here at UMass Boston, she shapes the college's future and articulates a compelling vision that inspires engagement and financial support for external audiences. And internally, she encourages collaboration and continuous improvement with a focus on undergraduate and graduate student success and support of faculty in research, scholarship, and creative activity. I am very happy to say that she is a champion of the students here at McCormack. And as we see McCormack thrive today, it is in large part because of Dean Idozi. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you. We're honored to be co-hosting today's graduation and recognition awards ceremony with our DOS ambassadors, our Dean's Office Student Success Ambassador. Let me briefly, I'm not the celebrant here today, you are, the students, but let me briefly introduce today's topic. Julie Tilana and Marissa Kinsey studied hundreds of social change initiatives over multiple years and interviewed social entrepreneurs, civil society leaders, and public officials around the world. Their research findings identified 3 distinct roles played by those who participate in movements for social change: agitator, innovator, and orchestrator. An agitator brings the grievances of specific individuals or groups to the forefront of public awareness. An innovator creates an actionable solution to address these grievances. And an orchestrator coordinates action across groups, organizations, and sections to scale the proposed solution. The article concluded that any pathway to social change requires all 3 roles. Agitation without innovation means complaints without ways forward. And innovation without orchestration means ideas without impact. This May 2023, you arrive at the end of what I hope has been a dynamic, productive, and exciting educational journey and academic experience with us at the John McCormack School of Policy and Global Studies here at UMass Boston. Given the state of national and global politics, as you enter the world of public service and public affairs, the need for social change agents is becoming more acute, which makes understanding your roles as agitators, innovators, and orchestrators equally important. So, I'm sorry. Didn't switch off my cell phone. I don't think, maybe we should just let it run. It's work already, thank you. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah. These new cell phones, I try to turn them off and they don't do it.
It's probably an agitator calling you.
Could be. I hope it doesn't work great. Sorry about that. Well, I was talking about the state of national and global politics as you graduating students enter a world of public service and public affairs. You will need and be social agents, and social change agency is becoming so much more acute. Over the last several years, we hope that you have spent with us at the school, that you have been engaged in a study that has prepared you to serve in the public interest and contribute to a dynamic community and global engagement that will help you solve the problems facing our world today. With our mission at the school, committed to social justice and equity, I hope that we have equipped you with an interdisciplinary education so that you will conduct cutting-edge policy action and research that seeks to understand and remedy some of the most important social, political, economic, and environmental issues of our time. As you celebrate the end of your educational journeys this week and transition to your new careers, the faculty and I are really excited to celebrate with you today and recognize your accomplishments in public service and policy careers across a range of disciplines and employment sectors, whether you have trained as a gerontologist, a manager of aging services, a public administrator, a public policy specialist, a global governance and international relations diplomat, and/or scholar or specialist, or civil society organizer, and a public or private sector officer and specialist. As newly graduated McCormack scholars, you will now become ambassadors who represent the next generation of public intellectuals, public servants, leading social change that matters. Your roles as agitators, innovators, and orchestrators, social change will become emphasized as you take on careers that will make a difference. We are also proud of you and to see you now join a community of private and public sectors, civic groups, and governments working together with us at universities like ours to identify and address common challenges in ways that build a stronger public community. In congratulating you today, the faculty and I do so alongside with McCormack School's historic and current donors, gifters, and endowers who have contributed so graciously to your educational success. We are grateful for the scholarships and awards that we are conferring today, gifted to you to support your educational journeys and recognize you for your special accomplishments in the names of Donald Paulson, Ronnie Lipton, John W. McDonald, Matthew P. Sullivan, Carol Toto, Richard A. Hoggerty, John W. McCormack, David Ryan, Vincent and Donna Proportion, Elaine Welby, Winston Langley, and Carlos Lopez, and many more. Congratulations to those of you who are receiving these prestigious awards today. I wish you all the greatest success in your future careers, and I hope that you remain connected to the John McCormack School as cherished alumni. I'd like to welcome and congratulate your family members and friends and guests at today's recognition event. I'd like to also take this opportunity to welcome and thank McCormack's faculty, leadership, and staff. And I'd like to give a special welcome to our keynote speaker, Adam Hines, who is the CEO of the Edward M. Kennedy Institute of the US Senate. Your accomplishments, Senator Hines, over the course of your career span the interests of our graduates today in unique ways, whether in gerontology, public policy, or global governance. We talked about this earlier. Thank you for doing this. And let me welcome up Professor Edward Miller to formally introduce you. Well, welcome everyone, congratulations again, and yes, like JD has said, enjoy the event. Thank you.
I can confidently say that none of you have seen me in a soup report, but since the last time I wore one is when I interviewed. Well, actually, my daughter's father. So I'm honored to introduce Adam Hines, CEO and Executive Director of the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate, former Massachusetts State Senator and UN official, as today's speaker. Mr. Hines has had a distinguished career and varied career in public service. A Western Massachusetts native, he earned a bachelor's degree in bachelor's degree in government and sociology from Wesleyan University, a master's of arts in law and diplomacy from Tufts. Early professional positions included serving as campaign director for US Congressman John Alger and joining John Kerry's presidential campaign on the national security and foreign policy team. Mr. Hines began his time at the United Nations in 2005 as a political officer based in Baghdad, working for the UN Assistance Mission for Iraq. 2007, he spent 2 years as part of the Iraq team at the UN headquarters in New York before returning to the country in 2009 as team leader in UN-led negotiations between the Kurdistan region and the government of Iraq. In 2011-2013, he was based in Jerusalem working with the UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process. In April 2012, he joined former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who brokered the first ceasefire in the violence in Syria, after which Mr. Hines returned to New York to work on removal of Syria's chemical weapons program. Mr. Hines returned to Western Massachusetts in 2014 and started to work with youth at high risk of being involved in violence and gang participation. He then became executive director of the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition, an organization that works on community development, including addressing youth development, addiction, and rural health access. From 2017 to 2012, now Senator Hines represented the Berkshire, Hampshire, Franklin, and Hampton districts in the Massachusetts State Senate. In the Senate, Mr. Hines served as chair of the Joint Committee on Revenue and of the Senate Committee on Reimagining Massachusetts Post-Pandemic Resiliency. He was also an active member of committees overseeing redistricting, intergovernmental affairs, and racial equity, civil rights, and inclusion. Mr. Hines took the helm of the Edward M. Kennedy Institute in September 2022. The EMK Institute is dedicated to educating the public about the important role of the Senate in our government, encouraging participatory democracy, invigorating civil discourse, and inspiring the next generation of citizens and leaders to engage in the civic life of their communities. The Institute could not have picked a more fitting leader to assume this charge to Mr. Hines, whose remarkable career is one underpinned by an enduring commitment to public service, one which transcends boundaries and has charted his professional trajectory. From the Senate chamber of Beacon Hill to conflict zones on the Iraqi-Kurdistan frontier, Mr. Hines' career reflects a multidisciplinary, intersectional approach to service while demonstrating the interconnected nature of a globally oriented world. So please join me in giving a warm McCormack welcome to Mr. Hines.
Can we rein that in a little bit? That's a little, at least the light doesn't reflect off that the way it does mine. Thanks, Professor Miller. Thanks, Dean, Vice Dean. And really, I can't emphasize enough how much it means to me to be asked to participate in today's ceremony and this impressive transition that you all are going through. And so I'd first like to just recognize the faculty and staff and most importantly, of course, those of you who are graduating and are here with your family and friends. You know, I'm partly grateful for being here because I only had to walk a couple hundred feet, which is pretty nice for most of my engagements. But I will say that at the outset, the Institute, we're incredibly proud to be here, basically right on the campus of this august institution. So let me just start with that recognition that we just love being your neighbors and on campus. You know, I'll start with this. I feel like you all are entering the world, or receiving your degrees at least, at a pretty decisive moment for our country especially. I would say that the terms of our democracy, I don't feel like this is hyperbole, are being set. Sorry. And hello to all of you online. I forgot to mention you as well. 22 of you, apologize for ignoring you. But you know, it feels like a decisive moment in that literally the next election cycle or two could be decisive for the next generation, you know, the next decade of how our democracy looks. As you heard, I was a state senator here in Massachusetts before joining the Edward M. Kennedy Institute. And before that, spent those 10 years mostly in the Middle East, working for the United Nations in Iraq, Jerusalem, and Syria. So some of the most intractable conflicts on the planet. And so through those experiences, I saw how quickly, essentially, the inclination to retreat into the group, and how quickly and how easily political norms and social norms, even democratic institutions themselves can be, there's someone else at the phone this time. All right, so now you're safe. But how quickly even democratic institutions can be undermined. But I've also seen the importance of reaching out to folks that you may not agree with, and how critical well-placed organizations can be for encouraging our better angels and providing an inspired path forward. Because I'm in front of you all, I think it makes sense to focus specifically on not only public policy, but conflict resolution, international relations, global governance. I wish I knew this program was here when I was looking for grad schools. I love this place. And then further additional work on in our communities related to aging services. But in my mind, as you'll see, I see an overlap between the domestic and the international. And you've heard my career has kind of spanned very deliberately both of those areas of work. And so I want to focus on how our work and really your work can impact the path of the country and the world at this critical moment. After all, it's you all who are heading to the front lines for this work in all aspects of public policy and international affairs. So good luck with that. We need the help, all hands on deck. I guess the starting point is, it's probably a pretty sad commentary at all that I feel that it's relevant that my experiences working in conflict zones internationally is transferable at all to my work in American democracy. But I feel it is the case, and I'll try to just give you 3 nuggets and you can focus on the reason you're here. But it's my sense that there are moments, especially contentious moments, even in political engagement here in the US, that can benefit from some lessons gleaned from conflict reduction at the international level. And here's what I'm talking about when I talk about the current divisions that we're experiencing right now at the moment of your graduation. In February 2021, 72% of each political party saw, and were quoted for saying that they saw the other party as a serious threat to the United States and its people. Just think about that. The other party is a serious threat to the United States and its people. That comes from Radical American Partisanship by Nathan Calmo and Liliana Nason, who does a lot of great work in this area. Another set of scholars, Milan Svolik and Matthew Graham, found that 85 to 90% of US citizens would vote for their party, even if it engaged in undemocratic action rather than cross political lines. And I could recite poll after poll that talks about how divided, how partisan folks are at this moment. And polarization, of course, is concerning because it creates the rationale for extreme actions in our communities and in government at all levels. And so it very clearly just opens that door to increase outgroup bias and justifies just about anything. And it's my sense, quite honestly, that we're just at the beginning of seeing some of those dynamics play out in a meaningful way. So what are we going to do about it? What are you all going to do about it? No, that is a rhetorical question. I am curious what you're all going to do. We'll get there later. First, it's my sense that the infrastructure of democracy and dialogue it doesn't create itself. We actually all have to be engaged in this process, especially in a world where there are so many platforms for articulating our divisions. It genuinely takes all of us to be deliberate about creating space for engagement. And think of this, thanks. Think of this literal example that I give, which is the UN itself is a physical manifestation of how folks can actually get together and talk across differences, right? You can literally be in the same room, walk the same hallways, quietly engage in conversations and message delivery without paying a diplomatic price or a political price. And the same price that often prevents those engagements from happening just about anywhere else in the world. So it's a very tangible, simple example, but one that I think about at the Institute because we're working to add to the scaffolding of democracy as we speak. We've partnered with the Orrin Hatch Foundation, which is the foundation of a former Republican senator from Utah, a senator who couldn't be any more different from Senator Kennedy, both in terms of upbringing and ideological outlook. And yet they managed to come together to pass several meaningful laws that impacted the lives of millions of people in America. And you can think just one example is the children's health insurance program and several others that we take for granted now. And it was because of their relationship and people in the Senate referring to them as the odd couple, that there's something there that we're trying to magnify. So we're teaming up with them and the Bipartisan Policy Center to host 2 sitting US senators in a few weeks over in our Senate chamber, ostensibly so that they can go on national television and demonstrate what it means to engage in dialogue and what it means to look for overlapping interests, beyond the positions, right? These are all terms that will be familiar to people here. And I say they're looking for common interests because to me, dialogue with folks you don't agree with, it isn't just splitting down the middle. It's not just being quiet in the face of injustice. Time and again, it's my view that it's actually the way you have the increased odds of protecting the fundamental principles that you're standing up for, right? It's often the fact that you need the other side. We're in numerous instances, as you heard, it's the folks on the other side who are pulling the trigger and sending the bullets. And so we need to figure out a way to make sure that they stop doing that, right? It's a crass example, but it's pretty spot on. And in the Senate, it's often the case, the US Senate, that you need the other side if you're actually going to pass legislation or move through the challenges related to functioning. He said in an understated manner. So there's a famous refrain in the UN that when you're engaging with all sides in a conflict, even though there are atrocities happening, maybe especially when there are atrocities happening and violations of international law, because remember the UN is the custodian of human rights law and humanitarian law and international law generally. But the refrain goes something like, you can be impartial to the parties, but never neutral to your mandate or the law. in this case, international law. And so one way that I try to apply that in domestic politics is saying something along the lines of engage meaningfully with others, but it doesn't mean that you give up your principles. And I think that that's something that we often get caught up in, that people perceive dialogue as giving up on your principles, or giving in to the view of the other side. And instead, it's my view that the negotiators right now are the warriors of our democracy. And speaking with fellow Americans and others in America, especially when we don't agree with them, is the ultimate act for fighting for our democracy at this moment. And that was a helpful thing to remember when I was a state senator, and people in my first year said, I don't want you to talk with the other side, I want you to fight. It's something that I've kept in mind ever since. So I would encourage us all to just identify the space needed at this moment in America and ask how we're working to create that space in our different communities. Second, the messenger matters, especially now when we're so drastically divided into separate communities. I know this room knows kind of the geographical sorting that's happening. We're receiving news from different sources, different facts, et cetera. It's hard to break through at all and move kind of elevate above the outgroup biases that we're talking about and fears and divisions. They're quickly dismissed when you perceive it as coming from an elite elected class or from someone with an agenda on the other side. And so, it's my sense that especially in contentious moments is when division escalates, because we've lost the ability to see each other as fellow Americans or even as fellow human beings. So of course, the politicians and political consequences for engagement are high when constituents have moved into that space. So it helps, and we're finding that it helps to kind of have groups and especially individuals from your own group, I should say, giving you permission to engage or even listen to each other. And so working internationally, we always did that, not always. Let's say we use that tool a lot. And sometimes it was an impartial organization, an international organization, the UN being one that's civil servants, they're far enough removed from the current power interests at play amongst the states, even though it's a member state organization, whatever, let's not go back on the details. But at other times we were looking at the former leaders, trusted leaders, folks who brought that cachet, and former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan was both. And so that example, he was deemed the elder statesman, if you will, accepted by both sides of the Syria conflict when I joined him, and he was already working to broker a ceasefire in April of 2012 in Geneva, at a time when the government was using violence against peaceful protesters. And I'll never forget the night I was asked to go, I was packing to go to a wedding in Louisiana. I was in Jerusalem, putting my back was on a cold tile floor, my cell phone rang and it said, can you be in Geneva in 2 days? And I kind of looked at my bag and the phone and said, well, I'm already packed, I guess I could go. And it wasn't my wedding that I was going to, don't worry, so that wasn't a problem. But it was kind of a real lesson learned when you then spend the next couple of days exchanging letters with the foreign minister of Syria, and the role that this trusted former leader and obviously still a leader in his own regard at that point. But at the Edward M. Kennedy Institute, we're taking that lesson, right, and trying to understand when we're told that when we partner with trusted leaders, in this case, former Republican senators, we provide the necessary banner under which folks from all sides can actually engage, especially at a contentious political moment. They might listen long enough to hear what you have to say. And so this summer, we're convening 10 former US senators with the McCain Institute to precisely do this, to discuss the challenges that we're seeing in the divisions in America and how that's impacting the functioning of the US Senate and what we can do about it. Finally, appealing to our better angels is good, but I think we all need a backup plan from time to time as well. And so incentivizing movement towards our better angels helps as well. The political incentives, again, so we were talking about this on the way over, the political incentives against reaching across the aisle and actually trying to ensure Congress is effective are increasingly well known. And so that might be that there is a political advantage to be seen as not working with the other side. Your party might be rewarded, especially in a closely divided Senate. The individuals who block legislative victories, you'll be rewarded. If the party in the majority does not succeed and therefore can't go to the ballot on those victories, then there's an incentive not to engage. And so I can tell you as a former politician, the number of times I was told, the louder voice on Twitter that draws the contrast gets more attention, so that's an incentive. More attention results in more money in your campaign account, that's an incentive. More attention results in becoming a more visible statewide leader or national figure, another incentive, and on and on and on. I can say that right now the incentives are moving further apart rather than towards each other. And so how do we create positive incentives? And I would say some come through our electoral structures for sure. When I was in Iraq in 2005, I had the rare opportunity of seeing a country going through a constitutional drafting process and developing election systems. And as you heard, I was there as part of the UN political mission assisting with the transition. But it was a moment when it was a very intense power plays between religious and ethnic identity groups and creating a level of uncertainty that was really challenging at a moment of kind of crafting constitutions and newly elections. But when it came to the elections, folks were very clear. The argument at the time that we were giving was that single group districts, deliberately putting one group by party or identity group into one district, it was too risky to do. Let's find ways to avoid doing that. Because given the fragile moment, it just created, we all knew, too many incentives to speak to the most extreme fears of the group to mobilize support for your own candidacy. And so even creating regional basis for divisions. Well, what I've just described is basically a way to describe what we're experiencing in America due to gerrymandering. And so it's an interesting lesson to take from international work into how we might reduce divisions in our American democracy. It's one example, but one that I think of often as we assess the political incentives driving division right now. So despite all that, I'm not pessimistic about the future. I know I sounded, sorry, but I think we have to understand that as changes take place, be it demographic, and I've mentioned others, sorting into regions by party, media consumption, campaign finance, and on, we have to be open to refreshing our democratic systems. And we have to be open to understanding the experience of everyone in this country at this moment. And so by doing that, I believe we can finally come together. And I hope that we'll all join together in doing that. So in conclusion, let me just reemphasize how special this moment is as you walk through these doors today and out into the world as graduates of the University of Massachusetts, or I guess later this week, is that when you're, to do so with the genuine knowledge that what you acquired while you were here has prepared you, that you have everything you need, have confidence in your abilities and in your training. You can be proud of what you learned here and what the university has bestowed you with as you reflect upon your achievement and enter the world of possibilities outside of these walls. So thank you so much for including me in this special transition, and a real heartfelt congratulations to all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adam, for your amazing graduation speech, for our fellow graduates, students, and everyone present. Yes, I was going to call Dina Dozy up
I couldn't wait.
to present the Public Service Award to Adam Hinds.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, no, Adam, thank you. Please come up to receive your award for outstanding public service in the community and in the world. Thank you very much. Thanks so much.
So now we move on to why we're all here, the graduation award ceremony by department. So. Great, so we'll first start with the gerontology department. I call upon the chair and faculty program directors, Professors Edward Miller, Ellen Burchanda, and Catherine Borna.
Hello, everyone. We have for gerontology 4 awards. 2 of our for the PhD program, 2 of our awardees are here, and 2 are, I don't know, are they on the screen? I can't really see anybody. So I think what I want to do is, I want to announce the 2 of the students that are not here first. And then the 2 who are here, you just find them. So the first is the Gerontology Scholarship Award that goes to our student Set Mazizarian. I hope she's participating online. And this is for an outstanding paper she wrote that focuses on the association of housing type and ownership with loneliness. So Seth, congratulations. And by the way, all the awards come with a $200, which I believe is already being processed. So there is what was said. You know, said. Congratulations. Okay, I don't know.
Thank you.
Then, Chanmin also there. Chanmin. Okay, the next award is a new award we have this year. We have not had this before. It's the Gerontology Wu Paper Award in recognition of an outstanding original paper focused on Asian Americans or Asian older adults. And this is a paper focused on Chinese older adults titled Physical Frailty and Cognitive Function Among Older Chinese Adults. And the recipient is Changming Peng. So for the next 2, I'd like Taylor and Molly to come down here together. Okay. So fantastic that you can be here. So the first is for Taylor Jansen, the Gerontology Book Award, which we always give out for an outstanding dissertation. And Taylor's dissertation title is Town Level Risk Factors Associated with 65+ lung cancer and you get 2 printouts, one from us and one from McCormack. There's a lot of different. From us is for Molly Wiley, and it's the Gerontology Service Award for your wonderful contributions to the community of gerontology and the college and the university. Okay, the other 2 awards we will Changmin and Seth mail to you.
Good afternoon. I would like to present the Management of Aging Services Capstone Award to John Goldsby. The title of his capstone was merely ADUs and affordable housing for Black Bostonians. John, come on up. John has the passion, drive, a commitment to make a huge difference for older adults in the United States, and housing is his area of interest. But I can't wait to see what he does. Thank you, John.
We now call upon the Department of Conflict Resolution, Human Security and Global Governance, presented by the Chair and Faculty Program Directors, Professors Stacey Vanderveer, Karen Ross, Samuel Barkin, and Joe Brown. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm here to present the awards to the Master of Arts students in the International Relations program. Some of whom are here, I see, and some of whom I believe are watching online. So I will give a congratulations to each person, and if you are here, please come up to receive your award when I mention you. The first award that we have to offer is for all-around academic excellence in international relations. And in addition to academic excellence, I'd like to say that Brian Snow has been doing some very interesting research comparing and contrasting the predictions of different international relations theories on issues such as international security. Brian Snow, if you're here, please come on up. And if not, I will track you down at graduation later. Congratulations to Brian. And this year we had so many students worthy of recognition for outstanding achievement in international relations that we decided to split the award 3 ways. So we have 3 students I'd like to honor. Mariam Hassan, who has done some very interesting research on the politics of football in Egypt, including original primary source research interviewing the footballers themselves. So Mariam Hassan, congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Please stay up if you wouldn't mind. We'll get a picture later. Also for outstanding achievement in international relations, I'd like to honor Brandon Sullivan, who has done some interesting work on the governance of social media using international institutions. Brandon Sullivan, if you're here, I'd like to congratulate you, and if not, I will track you down at graduation. Congratulations, Brandon. I'd also like to congratulate Charlotte Lucien, who has done some very interesting research, traveling to Northern Ireland as part of one of the summer institutes and writing about applying lessons from post-conflict Northern Ireland to improving the functioning of institutions in Haiti. Charlotte, if you're here, come on up, and if not, I will find you at graduation. Congratulations. Last but not least, we have an award for the Best International Relations Master's Thesis or Capstone presentation. And I'd like to honor Amy Nguyen, who has written a fascinating thesis on whether international relations theories from the West can adequately explain the behavior of People's Republic of China, or whether we need to bring in concepts from Neo-Confucian philosophy into international relations. And I'm happy to say that the answer is yes and yes. Amy Nguyen, if you're here, congratulations. And if you're not, also congratulations. I look forward to seeing you again.
Hello, I'm Stacey Vanderveer, Chair of the Department with the long name, and it's good to see you. Am I in the right place in the program? Or should you look to me here as you do it?
Yes. No governance.
All right. Sorry about that. I was looking at the wrong thing. So we have for the Global Governance and Human Security PhD award program. That's what's on next on my page. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually the graduate programs in global governance and human security. We're going to start off with the master's program in global governance and human security. Lillian.
You have that shit.
Fun. The Convocation Award for Excellence in Global Governance
and Human Security, for the master's degree goes to William Spanda, who is so good at it that we made her come back next year for her PhD. Cassie, are you here? The Global Governance and Human Security Award in Excellence in Community Engagement and Leadership goes to Cassie Wudu, who again, we will track down. Nadia and Holly, are you here? Holly's here. So, the last award we have is the Excellence in Dissertation Research Award. And we had so very, very much excellence in dissertation research this year that we are giving 2 awards. The first is to Nadia Domanova. And Bielski, who is now for the awards for conflict resolution. Chair.
Thank you, Sammy. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Ross. I am the Director of Graduate Programs in Conflict Resolution. We have an outstanding cohort of students graduating with their master's and certificate degrees today. So we have a number of awards that we could not award to just one person. And so you will hear several names called, and I am thrilled to present these awards today. The first award I will present is for the Donald Paulson Award for Service to the Field of Conflict Resolution. And this is one of the awards for which we could not give just one. So we are awarding the Paulson Award to Isabel DePina, who I do not see here in person. I don't know if she is here online. Isabel, if you are, since you are not here, we will track you down at graduation or get this award to you. Our other Paulson Award recipient, I believe, is here this afternoon, Hadley Zibel. Hadley, please. Our Convocation Award for graduating master's student this year is awarded to Haley Barker. We will find Haley and get it to her, and we know that we will find her because she is an integral part of this institution. We have, as I said, multiple programs, graduate programs in conflict resolution, including an online certificate program. And we are graduating the second cohort of students from that program. Our recipient of the Academic Excellence in Conflict Resolution for the certificate this year is Kathleen Talvaccia, who I do not think is here because she does not live in Massachusetts, and is an online certificate student or soon to be alumna. Congratulations, Kathleen. For academic excellence in conflict resolution at the master's level, I am very, very happy to award 2 awards this year. So Jillian Miller is not here. And
No, that's it. And the department with the long name also has a long list, so a couple more. Thanks to everyone. We have 2 all department wide awards that I will mention. The first is the Ronnie Lipton Student Mentor Award. Ronnie was a much cherished professional staff member in our department, always thinking of students, and so we have named this award in her honor. And it's always a good one to give every year. The two recipients this year, one is Denise Murrow, who I know actually is in Colorado, so she might be online, but I'll just say thank you to you. The other one might not surprise you because she is our MC today, Janine Convo. And we have one more, all department award is the Ambassador John W. McDonald Award for Leadership and Innovation in our department. And that recipient is Alejandra Palacios Jurino. And the last thing I will simply say is that we have the very great fortune in our department to have an endowment from our former chancellor and provost, sorry, Winston Langley, the Winston Langley Fellowship for Research and Human Security Awards. Every year we are, because of the endowment, we're able to give some students money to do field work. And so I will just very quickly read them off, and if you can come up and can get it, otherwise we will of course continue the stalking and the dragging down. So this year, I'm wonderful to say that there are 5, and I will simply read them out. Candace Famuleti for research in Kenya, Muhammad Ali for research in Pakistan, Jamila Obare for research in Kenya, Dennis Juko for research in Uganda, and Amir Yaqub for research in Pakistan. Yay, there we are. Okay, good. Dennis, well done. So we have. Cool. I'm going to give you a picture and then we're going to get the real certificate. Our public policy colleagues have been extremely patient with our long list of awards, so that's it for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I now call upon the Department of Public Policy and Public Affairs, presented by the Chair and Faculty Program Directors, Christian Weller, Heather McIndoe, and Michael Johnson. Thank you.
Someone? And Christian Center?
Christine can't make it, but Heather is right there. Hi, Heather.
Good afternoon. I'm representing, I'll be speaking on behalf of Christian Weller, who couldn't be here this afternoon. I'm Michael Johnson, I'm Director of the Master of Public Administration program. And so I'll start with some MPA program awards. The first award is the Best Capstone Award. And this was voted on by the instructors of the capstone course, Professor Michael Hahn and Mr. Patricio Lloyd. And this award was shared by 2 outstanding students. They are Megan Stratton and Norhan Al-Shahabi. And Megan is online. Norhan, you're here, right? Great, so let me read the names of the capstones, and I'll let you recognize both of them. Megan Stratton's capstone is titled Rural Agrarian Populist Organizing, a Contemporary Landscape Assessment. And Megan, you're online? Can we raise your hand so we can recognize you? All right, okay. And Norhan Al-Shahabi's capstone was titled, How Do Local Government, Policies and Programs Impact Afghan Refugee Integration? And have you come up to receive your award? Sorry. The next award is the MPA Public Service Award, which, among other things, recognizes students who support our MPA program and the students in their cohort. And that goes to Alex Louder, who I believe is online. Can you raise your hand so we can recognize you? Congratulations. And the next award is the Matthew T. Sullivan Cohort Award. And this goes to a student in the second year MPA cohort who, through advocacy and support for student well-being, supports the strength of the MPA program. And this award goes to Yael Langer, and I believe Yael is online. The next award is the Carol Squarto Memorial Scholarship. And that award is given to the first year graduate assistant cohort. And that is Cody Deal. Cody. And I got to scramble to make sure that we have it for you. Thank you. All right. And I believe I can turn it over to Heather for the PhD Book Award.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. Can everyone hear me? Okay, I'm Heather McIndoe. I'm the PhD in Public Policy GPD. We have 2 book award winners for our Public Policy PhD program this year. Kelsey Edmond, who is online. I see Kelsey. And Andrew King, who is, I don't see him online, but we will find him. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you.
I now call upon the Gender Leadership in Public Policy Student Awards presented by Director Laurie Messiah Jefferson.
Good afternoon, really glad to be here today. It's a beautiful day and I'd like to be outside, but this is even better. So first of all, again, I'd like to present our awards for the Gender Leadership in Public Policy Program. I'm not sure who is here, who's not here right now, but we will find out in a moment. So I'd first like to start off with an award for Josie Barnell for the Young Leaders Award. Josie, are you here? One of the things I wanted to say about Josie is that, you know, she really impressed me in terms of the internship that she's doing this year in the city of Boston, working for one of our illustrious city councilors. So again, very, very impressed with her. Hello, are you here? Come on up. Now I see. And now I'd like to highlight our community engagement award. But before I do that, one thing I do want to say about Paulo is that, you know, she's working on one of the areas that I'm most passionate about, diversity, equity, inclusion. And I think she's realized the challenges and the opportunities working in that field. So again, we appreciate your work so much. Now I'd like to highlight the Community Engagement Award for Alicia Colombo. Alicia, are you here? I know she was trying to get here. Okay, well, we'll find you in one line. All right, next we'll go, Steph Doherty, she's not going to be with us today, but I did want to highlight the work that she's doing with young people in the LGBTQ space, as well as with young people more broadly. She is a very brave and bold woman who is trying to make a huge difference, and she is. So again, I'd like to recognize her, even though she's not here today. And next, I'd like to, she's not here as well, I don't think Alicia, Alicia Adams for the Academic Achievement Award. Alicia, Eliza, actually. No, she's not here either, but again, one of the things that's really, really important to know about Elijah is that, again, she brings very, very strong, important, and decisive perspectives to our classroom work. And again, just a very wonderful scholar. So again, I want to thank all of our awardees today, and I'm very proud of all of them. Oh, I'm giving you awards, too.
Thank you. We now have the special college level programs. The first is the Civic Action Project Summer Intern Awards to be presented by Associate Dean Kim.
It's great to be here. Since I've only been here for less than a semester, I don't know who's here or not. And so if you're here, come down. If you're not here, don't. But I won't be able to track you down because I don't know what you look like, so you need to find someone in the staff. The Civic Action Award are paid summer internships for graduate students. They are placed in a broad array of government, nonprofit, media, and corporate offices. They actively engage in conversations, focus on innovation and strategies to advance effective public policy and public service. This year, this summer, the awards are to Alina Bishop, who is placed in the Environmental League of Massachusetts. Alina, are you here? Bianet Cavite, who's placed at the City Transportation Department, is not here. Janelle Fossey, who will be at the Age Strong Commission. Lillian Savanda who will be Senator Biden's office. So she's gotten two. Nadine Hussein, who will be at the Commonwealth Magazine. And Sadvika Paramasa Tia, who will be at the City of Cambridge. I don't know if some of you are online. It's Lillian.
We now have the Carlos Lopez African Economics Research Award presented by Dean Idozi and Balkisa Diallo.
Thank you. The Carlos Lopez African Economic Transformation Award is a scholarship award inspired by Professor Carlos Lopez' generous donation of his 2023 Africa Day honorarium as a keynote speaker, along with matching support from the McCormack Graduate School's African Scholars Forum. Professor Lopez was the former Director General of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa at UNICA in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and he's currently a professor of the Mandela School of Public Governance at the University of Cape Town, South Africa. He's widely published, he has been recognized for over 20 times as one of the most influential Africans by mainstream world media. And I am so pleased to split the award this year with two great students. First student is Lina Maxoon. You know, she is a candidate, a PhD candidate in global governance and human security. And she's, of course, the Carlos Lopez awardee, who will continue to investigate why the country of Uganda is not a signatory to certain international labor organization conventions, despite having 80% of the labor force engaged in its formal sector. Congratulations. The second awardee is a non-McCormack student. Her name is Lillian Elekwachi, and she is she here? Did I see her online? Lillian Elekwachi? No? Okay, she's a PhD candidate in the School for the Environment. In her research as Carlos Lopez awardee, she will focus on the importance of aquaculture for the future food security in the state of Nigeria. All right, congratulations, both of you.
We now have the David Yan Award for Journalistic Career Excellence presented by Associate Dean Kim.
To say I've been to a lot of the award ceremonies at CLA. This one's much better. Despite telling faculty only 3 minutes, no one does that. So you don't know how lucky you are. David Nyan was a political reporter, commentator, editor, and columnist for the Boston Globe. He spoke about 10 things the news media does right, and 2 of them, numbers 7 and 9, spoke to me and I think us still today. He said the press is typically always ready to print or broadcast derogatory information about the powerful or famous, to challenge and probe and test the membranes of illusion by which we allow others to lead, amuse, or enthrall us with their particular persuasiveness. We allow, under certain circumstances, communities to find their voice and sometimes their feet. The McCormack Graduate School's Media and Conflict Early Warning Research Internship was looking for a student to analyze traditional and social media communications in order to identify risk factors and threats to democracy posed by violent extremist groups. It found Sophony Compass, a third-year undergraduate majoring in international relations. Is Sophie here for this award? No. Right, she has to track me.
We now have the Vincent J. and Robin Laportio Summer Legislative Internship on Beacon Hill Award, presented by Associate Dean Kim and Dean Idozi.
Okay, sure. This is the second of 5 years of the Vincent and Robin Laportio Summer Internships on the Hill. Vincent interned for former Governor Michael Dukakis and received his master's degree here in public affairs. They know the importance of paid internships and that the experience of working on a Hill can change your life.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Tisini Pinto de Sousa is one awardee. we're waiting to hear who the other one is, who will work with Representative Dan Cahill. Tiffany is in the MPA program as well, and will work for State Senator Paul Feeney this summer. Holding a law degree both in Brazil, in the US, and she also has a master's in law or a LLM. Is she here today? Okay, she has to track this down.
We now have the Elaine Werby Public Service Internship Program Award and the Richard A. Hogarty Award for Academic Excellence, the Book Award, both which will be presented by Professor Michael Johnson.
We turn on the screen so we can see the book people. Well, the Richard A. Hogarty Award for Academic Excellence, the NPA Book Award, is given to students in the second year cohort with the highest GPA, and where there's a tie, then students are recognized, those students are recognized, chosen according to the most outstanding capstones. And this year, we had a three-way tie, so it's a split the book award three ways. And I believe all of the recipients are online, so I'll say their names so that they can be recognized. First is Tim Cronin. You there, Tim? Second awardee is Yael Langer. Are you there, Yael? And the last awardee is Megan Stratton. And Yael Langer and Megan Stratton are both graduates of the Gender Leadership and Public Policy track in the Okay, the next set of awards is the Blaine Werby Public Service Internship Award. And I'm presenting this in place of Dr. Susan Crandall, who's the director of the Center for Social Policy. So I believe two of the awardees are here. I'd like to ask them to come up. That would be Donna Kalajik and Amrit Mendes Prabhu. And Claire Conacher, is she here? And
We now have the awards for the Outstanding DOS Ambassador Representative presented by Associate Dean Kim.
The Dean's Office for Student Success, or DOS, has been integral in initiatives for graduate students and their success, including funding and advising. DOS ambassadors meet every other week for an hour. We're recognizing two members of this group, Adana Kalajaya and Jadine Hanbaugh. To this organization and the case of Jadine for chairing it. I want to recognize all the DOS ambassadors for their work as well.
I will, yes, I will help Dean, Assistant Dean to announce the names of recognizing the DOS ambassadors for the year 2022-2023. Adana Kalejare. You have to come back up. Amadou Jallo. Denise Vasquez. Might be online. I think it's online. Fernanda Costa. Joma Anyangu. Janelle Fassi. Kelvin Hadbo. Edmund. Rebecca Yama. And lastly, Satera Zadegan. Just to give a quick recognition to the DOS ambassadors who might be online. Sure. We now have the Dean's Office Awards, which will be presented by Dean Itozi and Associate Dean Marvin Kim.
And we are tag teaming here, Marlene, so come back up. I'd like to give the really prestigious award of the John McCormack Public Service Award to two great students. The first recipient of the award is Michael Baker. Michael Baker, how are you doing? Public servant should be, you are here present. I'd just like to say a few words, Michael, for your accomplishments. Thank you for applying to this award. You served as a volunteer with the Boston Asian American Film Festival, part of the local nonprofit Asian American Resource Workshop since 2018. Congratulations. You've also served, assisted the school of the Boston's Asian American Watlam High School, right? Okay, in Kung Fu Academy in Quincy, and the traditional Chinese line dance team. You have assisted that team. That's great public service. You've also able to assist in providing hands-on self-defense and safety training for elderly members of the community, and as a Washington Center intern in 2022, you served with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rican division. So congratulations, Michael. Thank you for your public service early in your career. Congratulations. We have a second awardee, and her name is Taylor Jansen. Congratulations, Taylor. This is your second award. This award for public service is well deserved. Let me say a few things about why Taylor receives this award. After her first year in the gerontology department, she connected with older adult members of the OSHA Lifelong Learning Institute, OLLI, and noticed a need for more intergenerational programming on campus. She went to action immediately. She became an OLLI member and she began hosting and facilitating the intergenerational book club. That was you. Taylor also, between 2020 and 2021, served as the treasurer of the UMass Boston chapter of Sigma Phi Omega, SBO, and the Gerontology Professional Honor Society. In this role, she helped pilot a peer mentorship program among new and veteran gerontology PhD students, and she coordinated the inaugural panel discussion on non-academic careers. Yes, I remember that one, thank you. And she's also participated in and led fundraising efforts for the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's. She's been a guest lecturer several times, and she has participated in teaching undergraduate courses in aging and society and physical aspects of aging. Now, thank you, Taylor, for your public service.
Get switched to online. So I think she's, the next awardee is online. Kelsey Edmonds' doctoral dissertation is entitled Exploring the Shift to Co-Production in Digital Equity Policymaking During the COVID-19 Pandemic. It was a groundbreaking study that sheds light on the interconnections between digital equity, co-production, and crisis policy making. Her research not only fills a significant gap in the literature on the digital divide during the pandemic, but advances theoretical knowledge and the use of co-production as a policy instrument to alleviate crises. She's published a paper which received the prestigious Best Student Paper Award from the International Chapter of the American Society for Public Administration. Outside of academia, she conducted qualitative interviews to research the impact of the pandemic on digital equity in Boston. And she served as well as a policy researcher using Twitter data to understand public opinion on clean energy policies. She is an exceptional PhD student, and for this reason, she is receiving the Outstanding Doctoral Student Award. The Outstanding Master's Student Award goes to two different people. Alejandra Jaramillo. As a 4.0, her thesis took a whole systems approach to exploring the causes of violence in Ecuadorian prisons and included a survey of correctional officers as well as interviews with key stakeholders. Here's your book. Also has an outstanding record, another 4.0. She's a star who came up through the political science undergraduate classes and earned admission to the Accelerated Master's 4+1 program, and is receiving another award for outstanding master's student. Finally, the Outstanding Undergraduate Student Award goes to Elizabeth Arpino. Sheether. Online. Online. It's online. Yes, great. major in gerontology with a 4.0 GPA. Finally, the best staff award goes to, oops, I'm sorry, yep. Not supposed to do that.
We're not there just yet.
We're not quite
So
there.
before that, we have the Faculty Program Director Award for Outstanding Student Mentorship, who will be presented by Dean Edozie and Associate Dean Kim.
Yeah, we're so excited to read up and present these two last awards. I get to go first, Marlene, and I am presenting the Program Director Award for Outstanding Student Mentorship. And I'd just like to say a few words about, what this is. Program Director Award for Outstanding Student Mentorship recognizes faculty members with a distinguished record of effectively mentoring students in their McCormack departments and programs. Outstanding mentors inspire their students to become creative and critical thinkers and researchers, and they willingly and consistently provide advice and support to effectively facilitate graduate students' success during their studies at MPS and beyond. And so the Outstanding Program Director and Mentorship Award this year is our 5th award, and it goes to Carol. Students, and some students who did not, are not mentored by you, also wrote in say that you should receive this award. But these are some of the comments, and I'd like to just say a few. Karen not only directs the conflict resolution program, but teaches some of the best classes in the program, while also advising numerous theses for students. Karen genuinely cares about her students and always makes herself available should they need help. She shows a genuine interest in her students' well-being outside the classroom, and she is very focused on providing a positive learning environment that encourages all students to participate. As my thesis advisor, one student said, I work closely with Karen daily. Whenever I was getting anxious or nervous about the process, which was often, she reminded me that I was capable and that I could excel. Another student says she creates an incredibly supportive environment, always going above and beyond to help her students answer emails and gives feedback in hours. It's extremely knowledgeable. Professor Ross engages with students in a way that makes you always learn more about the subject. Congratulations.
These departments would not run without the staff. The winner of this year is Kelly Ward. The GGHS runs because of her. She has been the only link to the department, especially for PhD students who are no longer taking classes. Her patience, kindness, and professionalism are exemplary. She is awesome. She goes above and beyond for her students, has all the answers, provides guidance at all times. Very helpful, always ready to assist us as students, on and on. responsive, helpful, kind, timely follow-up, consistency and communication, devoted to finding information for students, good sense of humor, which you need, and uplifting students with supportive advice. Very well.
We have now come to the end of our program for today, and I call upon Professor Michael Johnson to give us the closing remarks. Just a little bit about Professor. He is professor in the department. He's a professor in the Department of Public Policy and Public Affairs and the GPD. His work focuses on management science planning models for public sector facility location and service delivery, with applications to assisted housing and senior services. Thank you for your great work and stay secure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There's one more title, interim director. For the next few months, I've been going over a Trotter Institute for Study of Black Culture. So good afternoon, McCormack Graduate School. It's really great to help end this afternoon's graduation award ceremony, and I think we're all looking forward to the reception of ours. There are a lot of people to thank for this event. First is Adam Aarons, CEO of the Edward Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate, for his graduation remarks. And I'd like to share my gratitude for so many people from all of our departments who provided recognition for our students, faculty, and staff for their many achievements. So from the Gerontology Department, Amy Miller, from Birchander, Captain Brunner, from the Department of Conflict Resolution, Human Security, and Global Governance, Stacey Vanderveer, Ross and Barkin, Brown, and from the Department of Public Policy and Public Affairs, Christian Weller, Lauren Asai Jefferson, Heather McIndoe, and from the Dean's Office, Marlene Kim, Alpisa Gallo, Susan Galen, Susan Crandall, Jaden Fungo, and of course, Dean Kiki Pedosi. So this is for the students. It's been a long journey for you, from application to your academic program, to acceptance, to enrollment, to figuring out how you'll pay for the program, to attending classes, completing assignments, writing papers, doing data collection, analysis, and writing for capstones, and presenting your work. There were probably times when it looked impossible, that there was no way you could balance school, work, family, and your other responsibilities. But you've had a support team behind you. Your classmates, your instructors, program directors, administrators, Dean's Office of Student Success, and Dean's Office staff, Associate Dean Marlene Kim, and Dean Kiki Adosi. And don't forget your family and loved ones and your work colleagues. All of us have believed in your mission and have looked forward to this moment when you can take a deep breath, look around, cry, smile, shout. You can do a little victory dance. It's all good. And you can claim this time for yourself. Please remember that your department and academic program and the McCormack Graduate School, they exist for you. Your success is our success, vice versa. Over this academic year, I've had the joy of seeing MPA students present amazing capstone presentations. I've attended and chaired dissertation proposal presentations, attended dissertation defenses, viewing class presentations of final papers, and advising and mentoring masters and doctoral students who've used that extra bit of support to keep going and make progress in their programs. To me, there isn't a greater feeling in the world And I'm sure all of us who are on your team will feel the same way. So congratulations and thank you for all you've done. On behalf of my department, my program, my graduate school and university, please accept my sincere congratulations on getting to this point, for walking across the stage on Wednesday, on being recognized for your special accomplishments and helping add to the legacy of McCormack Graduate School and UMass Boston. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. And again, thank you everyone for being here today. One last time, congratulations. Congratulations, everyone. And thank you so much for your time with us today. And before we move on to the reception, we're kindly asked to take a few photo groups, some photographs and like, everybody together here. And then the reception will be in the room to the right. So thank you.